We're a small community on the northwest coast of Vancouver Island. We are often described as being a friendly community, something that we hold very dearly to the way that we live. There is real urgency to expand the community, but we are unable to do it until we get the infrastructure up right now. We have to invest a fair bit into our infrastructure, right down to the basic needs of water and sewer and housing. The power line is not safe, not reliable. We get a lot of power outages. This is a single-phase line that is way longer than BC Hydro would ever allow a single-phase line, and it causes issues on BC Hydro's line that this line attaches to. It is at capacity, so it limits what we can add on to the system. The power line is destined to fail at some point, so KCFN has to be prepared.
There's all the solar panels up there.
My name's Josh Shepard. I work with High Tide Energy. We've been up here working with KCFN for about 4 years now, starting to wrap up this project. We'll take a look at this ground mount that we were part of the design and did the install. It's 165 450 watt solar modules, this size of array. Would offset about 4 to 5 average homes. As you can see right now, there's not a ton of sun, but we're still generating about 10 kilowatts of energy right now. We were able to build it to have the correct angle, and it's facing due south, which is great. So what's gonna happen is our solar is gonna generate. It's going to offset some of the load in the community, and if we don't have enough solar to offset the load in the community, we have 3 generators there.
So these 3 green sea cans hold 3 generators. So the way they're designed is we'll use one up. When we need more electricity, the second one will kick in. And then we have the 3 fuel tanks. Each tank holds 45,000 liters of diesel to supply the generators. We anticipate at the current consumption, we'll probably have about 6 months of diesel fuel for if we were running on the generators for Houpsitas.
Now, depending on the load in the community, we may have 1 fire up. If there's a greater demand needed, then you'll have 2 and then 3. So instead of having 1 big generator running and using all that fuel, maybe it's just 1. Again, it depends on the load. From here, we have another container. What it'll do, it takes all that solar generation and it will invert it into alternating current, which goes up to those transformers down to the community. Because it's a remote community, there's a lot more outages that take place. Sometimes it can be considered a state of emergency because it's out for 4 or 5 or even longer than that days. Making sure that you have alternative power is really huge in these communities. If the utility goes away, this can be its own utility, and then we can use this to offset the entire community and run the community. A lot more stable grid. And just give you an idea of the size of these generators. They're loud when they get going. So this is a 250 kilowatt gen set. And remember, there's 3 of them. So in the community right now, there's a 500 kilowatt, so we'll be able to handle a third more of the load. And again, this complemented with solar should definitely be able to reduce the amount of fuel we use. We have a couple of our guys, Taylor and Noah from High Tide Energy. They're working in here right now. Say hi, guys. Hey. 3 generators here. These are the disconnects. And then from here, we have actually 6 inverters. So this is where it inverts it again into the AC coming from the solar field that's up there. This amount of solar is a good start for them. If the utility does go away and this is the prime source of energy, it's so much more robust. It's right here. We can do all the maintenance on our lines, within the 5 kilometers from here down into the community. We have clean, sustainable energy up there. We have a very reliable system here. You got to look at this solar. This is our fuel. Although we'll be using the generators still, we're not going backwards because we're not using a big generator that is not complemented with solar.
You know, these sorts of things should have been addressed long ago, and they shouldn't have become such a big problem as it is now, because it is really holding back the growth of the community. That is really the reason why we've prepared ourselves the way we have. We've installed the generators, we've installed the solar panels. We're ready in the event that this community is without power.